Hi everyone, Neal Smith here, NKS Financial. I am a local mortgage lender. I've been doing loans for about 29 years now, and I have a branch called NKS Financial of Finance of America. I'm here because I want to show you something that has been very valuable to me. I am a consummate learner. I got turned on to this book by Michael Mayer called 7 Levels of Communication. And this is one of Michael's things that he teaches, and it really has helped. Now, when you talk to clients, right, we're all supposed to be calling our clients actively with purpose, okay? Some people are better than most, okay? Well, usually there's an acronym called FORD or FROG. FORD is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And FROG is family, recreation, occupation, and goals. You might have heard of that, or one of those. And the whole idea is it gives you things to talk to the clients about. Well, Michael has taken this, he coined FROG, and he's taking this in what's called the January call. And the whole idea is sometime in December, January, first part of February, okay, this loses a little bit if you do it in June, for instance, you're gonna be calling your clients. My challenge to you is, if this resonates, do it with your top 5 clients. Just give it a shot. I promise you, you're going to get something out of it. And so we have a list, and you'll be able to download this from the video. But basically, when you're calling the client, you're interacting, you're looking to get deeper relationship with them. Okay? A couple questions you can ask. Do they have any New Year's resolutions? Do they have any big plans or goals for the upcoming year? Any big trips planned, right? Bucket list. Do they have any bucket list items that they're looking to add to, or that they're looking to get done this next year? Looking the year ahead, what like projects or special things that they really want to work on? What's the biggest challenge they have right now? What's a typical client for them, right? If they are self-employed, and that's an important piece of what they were looking for. And who are they hoping to meet this year? Maybe you can be a connector. That's a really important part. And then also ask them, who's a person that you think you could learn from and that they could do an introduction to you? So that's the basic framework. You don't have to do it perfectly. It just gives you an idea to be able to reach out to somebody. The other key thing here is come with a takeaway. Write notes, right? You're going to see an example coming up of something I did a January call with a friend of mine, Steve Westlake. He's a local financial advisor in the Sacramento area, has a pretty big practice. But I'm taking notes actively when he and I were going through it so that I can have some follow-up. So with that, take a look, listen to the January call, and hope this helps. Hey everyone, so here we are. I have Steve Westlake. Steve is a friend of mine and offered to do this with us. So I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
No problem.
And so we're going to be doing the January call, and Steve gets this. Steve is a financial advisor. He has WGG, he's a founding partner. So Steve gets the understanding of having relationships and what have you. But before we get into the January call, Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes you guys special at WGG?
So quickly, basically, I think the best thing we can do for our clients is we help them to avoid making mistakes. We take a very much a holistic approach to addressing their financial concerns, their goals, their priorities, and trying to put together a plan that'll help them achieve what they're hoping to accomplish.
That's great. Well, I want to tell you, we've worked with a lot of clients mutually, and you guys have a really good thing going. And I really appreciate you as a friend and a mentor. And I also appreciate how you take care of clients I refer you, and you guys just doing a great job. And I really do appreciate that and acknowledge that.
Thank you.
So let's get into this January call. So the idea here is, like, Steve and I, it's around the first of the year, and we're just going to catch up. Steve and I are friends. So this is easy. We talk often. So that's my challenge to you is you don't have to go and do this to strangers, right? But it does work. So just go and pick a couple friends or people that you work with, and just to get used to doing this. I think that you'll really get something out of that. So with that, Steve, let's get started. So Steve, it's the new year coming up, and do you do resolutions at all?
I wouldn't say formal resolutions, but things I think about I'd like to accomplish for the upcoming year.
Yeah. Okay, that leads into the next question. Like, any big goals or big plans for this next year coming up?
Things I'd like to be able to do is maybe be a bit more intentional or deliberate about, getting to the gym, working out, or or just running, wherever the case may be. Work has been pretty busy, so I'm pretty happy about that. And if I don't plan these things, in terms of working out, they just don't happen. And then I think the other thing is, we're in the process of working with an architect, designing a home and putting that on the back burner. I'd like to kind of get that pushed through next year.
That's cool. That is, that's exciting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because this is not your first rodeo in designing a home either.
No, no.
So that's really neat. I know with COVID coming up and with what's happening shutdown wise, it's a little tougher to travel. Are you guys planning on doing any trips at all?
Probably some domestic things, to start off with. International is a bit questionable until we feel a bit more comfortable. Like I said, primarily domestic.
Yeah, that makes sense. Bucket list. Have you ever done one?
I have a very short bucket list. I've done most of the things I want to do in life, and probably there are few historical things I'd like to kind of see, have the experience. But most of the things I've accomplished, I'm pretty happy with it.
Are you going to be able to do any of those with the whole not traveling as much and stuff like that this year?
The international travel, like I said, is going to prohibit accomplishing a few of these things, but nonetheless, they'll be there eventually.
Yeah,
I'll get it done.
That's cool. Well, looking at the year ahead, and you mentioned this already about with your big thing of designing your new property, right? Your new house. What is the number one thing that most excites you about 2022, whether it's business or personal, that you are just a project that you've been like, this is going to be cool?
We've made a number of changes in the firm. I mean, structurally, we have a big firm, about 50 employees, and we're pretty happy with some of the changes. And we hope to see the fruits of our labor in 2022. But we've structured some things, brought some people on board. So we're pretty excited about the future.
Oh, that's exciting. Cool. Very cool. So, biggest challenge, like what's the one thing that you're just going, wow, I got this thing I got to work on? Or
every one of my business clients has the same problem I have, is finding people. It's just talented people are hard to find right now. Everywhere you look, you see signs saying help wanted. We were in one little town and it said help wanted, no experience needed. So people are pretty desperate for good help.
Yeah, I heard somebody said even long-haired people welcome or something. It was a funny one, but yeah, I think that's tough. And so, do you guys post on job boards? Like, what do you do, and how are you guys finding your talent typically?
In the past, it's been like, some of the advertising we're doing, Monster, things of that nature. Lately, we've had to go to recruiters and had them find people for us. And we're still looking for good people. And we were just told by the recruiter that we're on a wait list. They're that busy. They have that many people hiring them to find people. So we probably won't be actively looking for people till sometime in January.
What would be your number one first hire that you'd say to do? Because obviously we're putting this out on the world, right? So maybe somebody that listens to this might know somebody that would work.
So our industry, we have people that are licensed. They're called Series 7 licensed, and they're just hard to find people. If we could find those folks, we'd snatch them up in a heartbeat.
Okay, that's great. Would you guys even consider a new college grad or something like that potentially?
Potentially. I mean, that most college grads are not going to have that licensing, but it's a process where you do come on board. We do have a program, a mentorship program, and a process to get them licensed. For a lot of things we need done now, we need licensed people immediately, and usually the licensing process could take anywhere from 6 months to a year.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough license. So for you, your client, like what is a typical client, or what's an ideal client for you? I know you have a pretty big practice, but tell me a little bit about what's your ideal client.
Well, I'm going to back up a second there. So my partners and I have thought that we should have these ideal clients for the partners. I guess we do have ideal clients for the partners, but I would say anyone who's sincerely interested in trying to improve their financial situation, we can find a home for them in the firm. We have 13 client-facing advisors. Generally speaking, the partners are working with the more complex, more moving parts, a bit more demanding type clients, typically clients with investable assets of over $1 million, typically business owners, again, taking more of a holistic approach, financial planning approach, doing projections to help them get where they want to be. But, sometimes we get referred to people's children who, got a small IRA or something like that. So again, my motto is if you're sincerely interested in trying to improve your situation, we'll find a home for you.
Yeah. Do you have any target market that you're thinking about for this next year? Do you have any specific individuals you're like, oh, well, it'd be great to meet these people? Anything like that?
The biggest impact I've made with clients in the past, I'd like to see more of in the future, are business owners, especially people who, small organizations. Just to give you a real quick example, I was working with one person who's self-employed in her 60s, basically killing it right now. It's getting killed in taxes. And through a couple of different strategies we were able to implement, we saved her a little over $100,000 in taxes. But something for people, small organizations, not a lot of employees, there's a lot more opportunities for tax saving opportunities there.
That's great. That's a great example. And so imagine I'm always trying to learn and get better. And I appreciate you are as well. So with that, who would be somebody that is very successful you think would be a good person for me to meet, that might be a good person for me just to learn from? You have any ideas?
Yeah, there's a person in town, an attorney named Jeb Burton. And what I really like about Jeb is not only his mastery of his trade, being an attorney, just a really good person to be around, how he treats his clients. I've come across some really smart people, but their bedside manners, kind of questionable, how they treat people. But what I like about Jeb is he's really, really smart about his industry and the time he takes spending with his clients, educating his clients, and being very thoughtful and mindful of their needs. I'm very impressed with the man. Oh,
cool. Would you mind could you send me his information? I could reach out, or you could do maybe an introduction where you emailed him and said, hey, it'd be a great way I think you two should meet. Would that be cool?
Yep. He's a mentor to a lot of different people. I think it'd be a great connection for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So that's the January call, you guys. I mean, it's not, Steve, that wasn't too painful, was it?
No, not at all.
Right. And so that's the point. And Steve gets, as far as contacting with clients and talking to them, and there's not a lot to this. But you just got to do it. Okay. And Steve, I really do appreciate you as a friend, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to do this. Thank you.
No problem, Neal, anytime.
If you want to reach out to me, you can get my contact information below. I'm local to the Sacramento area, and I would love to sit and talk to you about 7 levels of communication, this January call. If you want me to come speak at your team meeting or office meeting, I would love to do that too. If you'd like to reach Steve, he's Steve Westlake with WGG in Roseville. I want to tell you, they're one of the best financial advisory firms I've worked with, and they're just really, really incredible, and they lead with the heart, and they're good at what they do. So reach out to them. We'll have that contact information as well. And lastly, the questions. If you want to email me, I'll have the questions. I'll be able to email you the questions for the January call. Hope this helps make your 2022 amazing, and take care. Hi, everyone. Well, I hope you got something out of that. Couple key takeaways to think about is, what can I do for Steve that would have more of an impact on him? And I have a couple of things I could work on. I could look to finding a personal trainer and referring him to a personal trainer that might work for him in his area, because he's a busy guy, but I know his house is big enough to where he could have a trainer come to him. That might be one thing I could do. Other thing I could do is look at finding people as far as potential hires for him. I don't know, with networking or what have you, maybe putting the word out, somebody with a Series 7, something like that. Other thing is it sounds like Steve's done a lot of cool things, right? So his bucket list is almost done. Well, could I find some kind of a book that would add to his bucket list? Maybe doing even cool travel in the US. That might be a cool thing to do for him. Other thing is, he's building a house. Could I find a book that has something on architectural design? I know I do have some ideas of what he likes, but just giving him some cool ideas and design and what have you. So my point is there's some things that I could do that take a lot of time. And then there's some things that actually could be relatively easy. So my challenge to you is, if you're listening to this, is that start your January off right. Just do this with 5 people and get the momentum going. I promise you, you will create energy. Do it with easy people that you know already, clients that you know already, that you know you can help. I promise you that you will get something from this if you do it, okay? Hope all's well, and hope you have a great year. Take care.